Metta, one of four Brahma Viharas, the divine dwelling spaces for the mind. What is Metta? It translates to loving kindness. But those words don't fully encapsulate what it is. It's truly a feeling, an energy one carries with themselves, an energy of generosity, an energy of forgiveness, an energy of openness and givingness to all beings, irrespective of what they look like or what form they take. In other words, it's a givingness and lovingness to all sentience, to all things that have sentience, to all life itself, an offering of the heart and an offering of what can be given. It's an attitude of kindness, of givingness. Metta is not just for the sake of the other. It's for the sake of the one who gives it as well. What it offers to the other is real, but what it offers to the one who gives it is arguably even more significant than anything that could be given out of love or kindness. Because what it offers the individual who gives it and who holds this energy is a space for their mind to exist that's utterly peaceful, that is abundant, that is unharmed by and untouched by hatred. It is the antidote to hatred, in fact. It is the antidote of a mind that resents. It is the antidote of a mind that needs others to be different than the way they are. It is a divine dwelling space for the mind, and one who holds this energy and holds this as an intention, as a space for their mind, benefits the most. Not only does it create a divine dwelling space for the mind that is peaceful, that is blissful, that is ultimately free of the fetters of hatred and greed, but it also provides protection. Protection in the sense that you no longer harm and poison yourself. You no longer instigate hatred out of others. Interacting with the world with this energy, one experiences the world softening to him or her. One experiences the world as amicable and friendly to him or her. The one who is holding this energy tends to attract and develop deep relationships with all beings, all sentient beings, animals, humans, children, man and women are drawn to the one who holds this as their dwelling space. You don't attract violence. You don't attract people who want to destroy you. You attract benevolence and safety from all those around you. In the time of the Buddha, the monks who ventured into the forest, there's a story where they initially experienced the forest as extremely hostile towards them. The spirits of the forest attacked them. The insects and other animals were not friendly, and overall they were purged out of the forest, and they asked the Buddha, "What do we do?" The Buddha didn't say anything but this: to hold the energy of metta for all beings of the forest, to go into that forest and to provide all the spirits and all the animals and all the plants with this sense of love and kindness. And this acted as their protection, and they were able to meditate and exist in that forest without being attacked. And the same goes for any environment. Going out at night, going into a situation that is hostile, one is much safer holding this frequency than they are holding a weapon of destruction. One is much safer holding this as a dwelling space for the mind than they are of defensiveness and vitriol or resentment, because those things attract their likeness. All mental thoughts and feelings attract their likeness as a principle of mind in the universe. And holding the frequency and mind state of metta attracts its likeness. You attract goodness and kindness and love from everything around you. And even if those things don't come from the environment or people around you, it doesn't hit anything, as your desire, even for those who hate you, is nothing but for them to experience what you experience as well, for them to understand the cause of joy and love, because you know that no one acts out of hatred, experiences the bliss of generosity and an abundant mind. They experience hatred because they are not content. And their contentment would not only ameliorate and diffuse their hatred, but it would make them feel incredible. It would help them, and it would help everybody around them. So the wish for love and kindness, the wish for happiness, would be beneficial to those who hate you. And the more they hate you, the more the desire for them to be happy arises in this state, because you know that's the true antidote. Because not only will it prevent them or stop them from hating you and harming you and the things you love, but it will also make them a source of light and love for everyone around them. And there's no wish that's higher than that, for them to discover the cause of joy and the cause of what gives them pain and gives pain all around them. It would benefit me, it would benefit everyone if those who hated me knew happiness and experienced it continuously. And they can if they adopt this state. It's available to all who decide to approach life in the universe with only gentleness, kindness, love. Even compassion is a part of metta. Compassion being the second Brahma-vihara, or karuna, which we'll discuss at another point in time. They all synergize with each other. All the four Brahma-viharas, metta being potentially the epicenter. But all of them are the center in a way. This is metta, to feel and offer purity, love, for no other reason but the safety it provides, the experience it provides you. In that sense, you could almost say it's selfish, but it's wisdom ultimately, and wisdom understands the value of this as highest and higher than any other mental state, potentially, you could hold. Now, there are other mental states that are important, such as compassion and sympathetic joy, equanimity. And these all tie into metta, and they all flow in and out of metta, and one's mind can flow in and out. But all of these states are divine. It is a Brahma-vihara, a dwelling spot, a dwelling abode for a Brahma, for a God, for a mind so elevated that it's untouched by the fetters, the three poisons of hatred, delusion, and greed. There is only benefit from holding this mind state, and hatred for others is hatred for oneself, ultimately, and it's poison of oneself. Why would one poison oneself if they have the option to experience bliss continuously instead? Why would one decide to experience pain and suffering when they could experience joy and contentment instead? This is metta, a gift from the Buddha, an understanding, a principle of mind that attracts abundance and provides the world with what it needs most: love. In fact, it may be one of the most powerful states of mind one can hold. The world needs love, but perhaps even more than love, it needs wisdom. And metta isn't born out of trying to be good. It isn't born out of wanting to be good or thinking that this is a virtue one should hold to as a rule. Metta is born from truly being wise and knowing that all alternatives to it pale in potential to heal, and to be in bliss. You could call wisdom selfish, but it ultimately leads to selflessness. Metta is selfless. It doesn't orient around an individual. It isn't dictated by a bias that I have. This person deserves happiness and this person doesn't. It's not about deserving, it's just knowing happiness is available to all who have the wisdom to seek it. And those who have the wisdom to seek it and understand it benefit not only themselves, but everyone around them. And to wish for anything less to any being on this planet is foolish. There's no downside to those who you believe don't deserve it, to learning the cause of happiness and to begin to act out of that. This is just wisdom, because they only benefit you if they do that, and they only benefit everyone around them. It's not about who they are or what they are. It's not about their individual. It's about elevating consciousness on all levels, the benefit of all beings. It's not about deservingness or not deservingness. It's about cause and effect. And if I hold to that one person doesn't deserve happiness or doesn't deserve to understand the causes of happiness, I limit my own happiness, and I limit my experience of it, and I limit the experience that others can have as well. For the person who's most hateful, who hurts others consciously or unconsciously, deserves to, well, it's not about deserving, but they would benefit. The shift in consciousness, the benefit of ultimate consciousness would be greatest in that person discovering the cause of joy and happiness. So I wish that to those who I think are most evil, who've done the worst things, for them to discover happiness for themselves. I wish to be that source of love for those who haven't experienced love, not for any other reason, but it would just brighten everything in this universe that is so dark, in this world that is so dark. And to be absolutely, unequivocally committed to this dwelling abode, and to be firmly rooted in it. That is wisdom. That is wisdom. That is insight. That is knowing what's true versus what is false. That is deciding to be in bliss continuously versus being in suffering. For what? So you can hold resentment? So you can hurt somebody even more and they can devolve even more? For what does hatred do? It poisons you, and it poisons them if they're not wise. Why would you do that? What benefit does that create for you? Vitriol, indignation, getting back at someone, doing harm to them because they've done harm to you or someone you love. There's no benefit to this except the perpetuation. All it does is it perpetuates the cycle of pain for yourself and for anyone they interact with. And a wish for this is just foolish. We do this because we think that in this hatred, it somehow balances things, it somehow makes things right, when in reality, it simply perpetuates hatred and perpetuates suffering. What makes things right is for this hatred that's projected onto you, to allow it to pass through you, for there to be no individual for it to land on. And for the only response to hatred is a proportional reaction of love and metta towards that. This is ultimate protection, and a mind in this state is ultimately and forever safe.